All right, let's dive into the world of literature. We're talking stories, poems, plays, the whole shebang. We're going to break down the very foundation of how we tell stories. You ever wonder what really truly separates a huge, sprawling novel from a short gut punch of a poem, or a play you see on stage from a biography about a real person? I mean, they all feel so different, don't they? Well, it turns out there's a framework for all of this. You can think of everything ever written as being built on what we'll call the four pillars of literary expression. So let's get into it and see what makes each one tick. Okay, our first pillar is the one you're probably most familiar with, the one you bump into all the time. This is prose, and really, it's just the language of everyday life. So what exactly is prose? It's simple, really. It's just literature written in plain, ordinary language, pretty much the way I'm talking to you right now. The big giveaway is that it doesn't have a specific rhythm or a metrical beat. It just flows. Prose uses that natural-sounding language to tell a story, to really dig into the characters, the events, the world. That's why it's perfect for things like novels and short stories. It's all about clarity and detail, making things feel as real as possible.
For a perfect example, think of a classic like Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. That's all prose. She uses that straightforward language to build this incredibly rich world and explore huge ideas like love, social class, and all the drama that comes with it.
All right, moving on to our second pillar, and this one is a whole different animal. Let's talk about poetry, the music of words. This is where language really gets to play. So, unlike prose, poetry is all about its artistic structure. It's a form that very deliberately plays with rhythm, with the actual sound of words, and with super vivid imagery. The goal? To create a feeling, an emotional punch, and an almost musical experience. And how does it do that? Well, it's got a whole toolkit, things like rhythm, meter, and rhyme. And it is jam-packed with figurative language. We're talking metaphors, symbolism, all that good stuff, to squeeze these massive feelings and ideas into just a few powerful lines. It's perfect for tackling those huge, timeless themes like love, nature, and mortality. So if you put them head-to-head, it's pretty clear. Prose uses ordinary language to tell a story directly. Poetry, on the other hand, uses rhythmic, musical language to create an emotional feeling. Prose tells, poetry evokes. Okay, on to pillar number 3. This is where literature literally gets up on its feet and moves around. We're talking about the pillar of drama, which is literature in action. Now, the single most important thing to get about drama is that it's not really meant to just be read quietly in a book. It is written to be performed. It's this amazing combination of dialogue and action that's designed to be watched by an audience. So how does it work? Well, it's all driven by conflict and action, and it relies completely on the dialogue between characters. What makes it so electrifying is that you experience it with your eyes and your ears. A character's personality isn't just described to you, you see it and hear it as they reveal themselves through what they say and what they do. And that brings us to our fourth and final pillar, which is grounded in a totally different world. Welcome to the pillar of nonfiction, which you can think of as the story of reality. This is the big distinction. While the other 3 pillars can be completely made up, pure imagination, nonfiction is based on what's real. We are talking about facts, real-life events, and actual people. Its foundation is truth. So its goal is usually to inform you, explain something, or maybe persuade you. You see this all the time in biographies, essays, and history books. But here's the really cool part. Just because it's factual doesn't mean it has to be dry. Great nonfiction uses amazing literary techniques to make a true story every bit as gripping as a fictional one. So we've got our 4 pillars: prose, poetry, drama, nonfiction. But it kind of begs the question, right? Where did all these different ways of writing even come from? Well, it's been a long journey. It really started thousands of years ago with oral traditions, stories and poems passed down from person to person, generation to generation. Eventually, that led to massive written epics, like Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. And from there, over hundreds and hundreds of years, it just kept evolving into all the modern forms we know today. So let's bring this all home. Why do these pillars matter? Why have these 4 categories stood the test of time? When you boil it all down, each pillar has a very specific and very important job. Prose is there to represent life and tell us stories. Poetry's job is to create emotional and musical moments. Drama is all about presenting stories through action. And nonfiction, its purpose is to inform and persuade us with facts.
And that's really the big takeaway here. These pillars aren't just boring academic boxes. Together, they represent this incredible, rich, and diverse tapestry of how we, as humans, share our experiences with each other. Understanding them just helps us appreciate every book we read, or poem we hear, or play we see just that little bit more. So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. Which one of these pillars tells your favorite story?